Welcome to another presentation by My Weight World. The subject of this presentation is Disturbing Facts on Weight Issues. This presentation is designed to give you a brief overview on the topic of disturbing facts on weight issues. Definitions. In order to understand some of the facts related to weight, let's talk about the three different categories of someone who has weight problems. 1 is someone who is overweight. 2 is someone who has general obesity. And 3 is someone with morbid obesity. The most accurate way to find these three different categories is by using something called the Body Mass Index, BMI, which is a ratio between a person's height and weight. If your BMI is between 25 to 30, you are overweight. 30 to 35 means you have general obesity, and anything greater than 35 means you have morbid obesity. To give you a better idea, let's go over how many pounds overweight someone has to be to fit in one of these categories. As an approximation, if you are 25 to 50 pounds overweight, you probably have a general overweight problem. 50 to 100 pounds overweight usually means you are generally obese. Anything over 100 pounds overweight typically means you are morbidly obese. This weight over body weight measurement is just an approximation. The more accurate tool is the BMI. General. There are not too many places left on Earth that have not been affected by weight, but let's specifically look at the United States. Here are some disturbing facts. Greater than 57% of Americans are overweight. From the year 1990 to 2000, obesity grew by 60%. It presently is the number one health problem in the United States, and other countries have a similar problem. Let's look at some raw numbers for the United States alone. In the United States, 160 million people are overweight. Approximately 60 million people are obese, and 15 million people are morbidly obese. This means that 15 million people in the United States are more than 100 pounds overweight. These are staggering statistics. United States children and adolescents. Weight-related problems do not just affect adults. They also affect children and adolescents. Here are some staggering statistics concerning the United States. Obesity in children and adolescents has probably risen faster than adults in the past decade. Therefore, the next generation may be even fatter. The percentage of children and teens who are overweight has more than doubled since the 1970s. Presently, 20% of all adolescents in the United States are obese. If we cannot reverse this trend, the problem with weight will become worse and worse as time goes on. Let's now look at some select statistics concerning medical problems and weight. 76% increase in type 2 diabetes in adults 30 to 40 years old since 1990. 80% of type 2 diabetes related to obesity. 70% of heart disease related to obesity. 42% breast and colon cancer diagnosed among obese individuals. 30% of gallbladder surgery related to obesity. 26% of obese people having high blood pressure. These statistics also mean that the number of dollars spent in medical resources in the United States is going up due to weight. Dying. More than 300,000 people die each year in the United States from illnesses related to obesity. For example, heart disease, which is more common within the obese population, can lead to heart attacks. Significantly overweight people are 2 or more times more likely to die of cancer, and 4 or more times more likely to die of heart illnesses. Not only are weight problems related to death, but they are also related to dying prematurely. If you have morbid obesity, the reduction of your life expectancy is typically 13 to 20 years. If you have general obesity, your reduction of life expectancy is 5.8 years for men and 7.1 years for women. If you are overweight, your life expectancy is reduced by 3 years. To put it into perspective, someone who is morbidly obese will most likely not live past their late 50s or early 60s. Cost to the U.S. economy. The cost to the worldwide economy due to weight problems is staggering. Look at the U.S. alone. $117 billion per year is spent to fight weight-related problems. The direct cost is $61 billion, and the indirect cost is $56 billion. These numbers are staggering. Our economy cannot keep up with this. Revenue in food and products per year. Let's look at some interesting revenue statistics from a different point of view. In the U.S. alone, $133.7 billion for fast food restaurants. Frequent use of fast food can lead to weight problems. $1.8 billion just for diet books. $37 billion in carbonated beverages. $3.9 billion on cookies. $57.2 billion on meals at restaurants such as Denny's, Chili's, and Outback Steakhouse. $6.2 billion on potato chip sales. Lost productivity per year in the U.S. related to obesity. As the population's weight goes up, its productivity goes down. Per year in the U.S. alone, weight problems cause 39.3 million workdays lost, 62.7 million physician office visits, 239 million restricted activity days, 89.5 million bed days. This overall loss in productivity is due again, possibly and primarily due to weight problems. In summary, weight gain is on the rise throughout many parts of the world, specifically the developed countries along with some developing countries. Overweight and obese people have an increased risk of dying prematurely, increased risk of medical problems, increased risk of cancer. Cost to an economy can be staggering in the form of medical costs, food and products, and reduced workdays. This has been another presentation by My Weight World.